And welcome to the PSN podcast. I'm your host, Damian Lewis. As always, we discuss things related to high school sports nationally and, of course, locally here in the state of Georgia. How are you doing? How have you been? Did you have a good week last week? And was your weekend just as good? I hope so. All right. As you can see, for those that are watching this, we've added the visual element to the podcast. And this is something we're looking forward to doing on a regular basis when high school sports roll back around for the 2021-2022 season, to help us continue to bring you even more from the high school world of sports, especially here in Georgia. All right. Without further ado, let's go ahead and kick things off the way we always do with the prep roundup. Got a national story for you, big news. In fact, it's made its rounds to a lot of the national media outlets. Young lady by the name of Nicole Piles out of North Carolina, 16-year-old softball player for Hillside High School in Durham, North Carolina, was forced to cut her hair due to beads being on her braids. Now, the issue that this young lady and her father took was that this came at a time with a umpire who had previously seen the young lady play with this hairstyle. Now, for me personally, my thing is the kids have had to deal with so much related to COVID-19. Right, this last year. Now, North Carolina, I do believe they play fall softball, so their season last year wasn't affected, but this season, I should say, was. They had to play now in the spring, a shortened season compared to what they would have normally played, and I need to do some double checking on it, but, because of the shortened seasons, like the postseasons aren't going to be as long as they typically will. So I just feel like, with all that these student athletes have had to deal with due to COVID-19, I feel like, something as minute as the braids or the beads being on the braids, something that probably could have just been looked over this time around, because it is a rule. It is a rule, kind of falls under the National Federation of State High School Associations blanket uniform rule for high school softball players, and beads on their braids, hair beads rather, is one of the things that is not permitted. So I get it. It is a rule. But again, I just feel like coming at a time where these student athletes are dealing so much related to their seasons, their recruitment, and all of that because of COVID-19, was this something that, this young lady had to be forced to cut her braids in order to continue playing? Just something, again, to think about. Love to hear your comments. You can post them on this down below in the comments section. All right, moving on locally here in Georgia. Congratulations goes out to Forest Park girls basketballs and now South Carolina Gamecock Sanaya Fegan. She was named to the USA Basketball U19 team. Congratulations to her. So many accolades for her. She's a state champ, McDonald's All-American, Gatorade Girls Basketball Player of the Year a year or so ago. So congratulations on adding now USA Basketball U19 team member to your accolades tonight. Brock Vandegrift out of Prince Ave, now UGA quarterback, named the Georgia Gatorade Football Player of the Year. Congratulations to him. He's a state champ, and now he can add this as well to his list of accomplishments. High school basketball coaching news. South Cobb boys basketball hire now former Douglas County basketball coach Hollis Bethea as their new head coach. Of course, South Cobb's coach left to be the head coach over at Hillgrove High School. So Coach Bethea coming in to step in and fill in the void that was left. All right, so congratulations to him. And lastly here, I told you a couple episodes ago that the Valdosta High School Board, or whatever down that way, the Board of Education, they were going to consider reevaluating the firing of Coach Rush Probst due to the whole possible illegal activities when it came to recruiting players, and this all surfaced because of a recorded conversation between he and a booster club member. They were supposed to meet on Monday to make a decision about whether or not they should reconsider things. Well, that meeting was canceled, and really no news as to, or word as to why they canceled. So as of now, him getting his job back does not look like it's going to happen. Again, unless something develops and they come out with a reason as to why they canceled the meeting and that, you know, they plan to reschedule it. Right now, it's not looking good for Probst to get the job back at Valdosta, but of course, we'll keep you updated on that. All right. Let's move into our weekly recap. Man, championship week, what a week. First off, let me say, and baseball is still going on. This is the final spring sport here in Georgia. But first off, let me just say to all the participants of spring sports, whether you're a student athlete, coach, manager, whatever the case may be, I just want to say hats off to you all. I'm so glad that you all were able to get your season in because, again, in my opinion, you guys, you got the raw end of the deal due to COVID-19. Nothing that anyone can control, but you had to miss out on your season last year. Those seniors that did not get a chance to participate in their senior season, just really felt bad for them. So it was just really good to see you all compete, get a full season in. So hats off to you all. And let's get it started. Kick things off with some boys soccer. Johns Creek defeated North Atlanta 4-0 to advance to the GHSA 6A Championship game. After the game, we caught up with their head coach, Kelly Bowler, about the win.
I mean, thrilling. And we built this thing from the ground up. I've been to the school since it opened, so we've gone through some trials and tribulations to get to this point. And these boys have battled, and I told you at Riverwood, after that night at Riverwood, I said this team was out to win a state championship. And they've backed every word of it up the entire time. So proud of them. It's all about them. It's all about those guys. My 9 seniors, they're just taking over, and that's it. I mean, that's what it is. And we're coming out to play Thursday or Friday. Whoever it is, we don't care. We're coming to play. So they better be ready. Well, I told them at halftime we were hesitating too much. Like, everybody was taking an extra touch and thinking about what they wanted to do. So they were probably caught up in the moment a little bit. So the second half I said, don't hesitate. Play instinctually. Play with your instincts. And they started shooting, and they started going in. So there you have it. That's it. That's the story of the game.
All right, now, unfortunately, the Gladiators lost to Dalton 3-2 in the 6A championship game. Next up was girls soccer. Blessed Trinity, what a game. They defeated St. Pius 2-1 to win the GHSA 5A championship. Spoke with their head coach, Johnny Jackson, after their win.
Incredibly special. For some of these girls, they're freshmen and sophomore year. Actually, Pius knocked them out of the playoffs, so it's pretty sweet to come in here in the finals and their senior year to win the championship. Obviously, it's a fantastic accomplishment. Once we get in rhythm, we're a pretty tough team to deal with, and we definitely got in rhythm towards the end of the first half. We had a little bit of rhythm in the second half as well. I mean, I felt like we certainly created a lot more chances than they did, and the scoreboard obviously, turned out in our favor. So, but Pius is a great team. They made us really, really uncomfortable at some times, and we were kind of just hanging on there for dear life a little bit at the end. The girls were just fighting as hard as they could to get that win.
All right, again, that was Coach Johnny Jackson, Blessed Trinity girls soccer team. It was a good weekend for Blessed Trinity. Their boys soccer team and boys lacrosse team also won state championships. Football, yes, here in Georgia, we had some spring football action. Walton defeating Alpharetta 60-14 in the spring game. Zach Rossman, Sutton Smith, Braylon Stokes, all looking really good on the offensive end for the Raiders. Defensively, they looked very good as well. 2 pick sixes, in fact, by the defense, and spoke with their head coach, Daniel Brunner, following their victory.
The biggest thing we did is the boys played hard. They played tough. We made lots of mistakes, and that's going to happen this time of the year, and that's what we talked about before the game. We're going to make mistakes, but we're going to forget them and drive on, and the boys did a good job with that tonight. They just kept battling. Got a lot to improve on, but very happy with where we're at right now in the boys' effort tonight. Yeah, we got to clean up our penalties, and it's spring. It's our first live game together with this team, and we got to clean the penalties up. And the effort penalties are one thing, but when we're having pre-snap penalties and that kind of stuff, it'll kill you when it matters. So we got to get that stuff fixed. But all in all, the discipline that we exhibited tonight, I was pretty happy with. No doubt about it. I think this offense has a chance to be one of the best in the state, and I'm excited about what we got. We got a great offensive line. We got a couple great quarterbacks and a really good group of skilled guys. So very exciting for us.
All right, a little track and field action for you. Again, championship. It was a big championship week. GHSA 1A private 2A and 7A championships over at McEachern High School. Some notable wins. Peachtree Ridge's Tamia Fuller won the girls' 100-meter dash in a time of 11.76. She actually held the top time in the state, which was, I believe, 11.5, pretty much all of the season. And then Campbell's Mackenzie Kelly won her second 400-meter championship in a time of 55.37, and we caught up with her briefly following it.
I feel really good becoming a back-to-back 400-meter state champion. I think that was just the whole goal. I was a little upset about not PRing, but I'm just glad I got the gold and I did what I was supposed to do for my team.
All right, girls lacrosse action. The Milton Lady Eagles, man, what a dynasty program they have going over there. They defeated West Forsyth 13-8 for the GHSA 6A 7A championship, their 14th state title in program history. And I got to do some research on it, but I think they may be the winningest or have the most state titles in GHSA history. I know Blessed Trinity, or St. Pius's rather, I should say, girls soccer team has about 12, but I believe 14 may be the magic number. I'll definitely check on that. But anyway, talk with their head coach, Tim Godby, following the win.
I feel great. I mean, first of all, I want to say, the West Forsyth program, we played them in the first game of the season. We were down 2 goals, but 10 minutes to go, we came back. We won the game by 1, but that game made our season because we knew what we had to do to work, and we were preparing for this all year long. So congrats to West Forsyth and making us work hard. But man, this feels great because this feels like you can't compare championships to other seasons, but this feels as good as any because we didn't get our season last year, and we had all these issues this year with we're dancing around, making sure girls are safe so we don't have to sit out and schedule changes and left and right. And but the credit all goes to the girls, man, because they really worked together. They made the decisions during the game. They took everything we worked on and they did it together and they executed. And it just feels great, man.
All right, so congratulations to all of the state championship winners this past week. Baseball, as I mentioned, is coming down to the final stretch. Majority of the state championship matchups are set in stone. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to check out some of the semifinals that took place on Monday due to death in the family. But so far, we've got in 7A Parkview will look to win their 3rd straight state championship when they take on North Paulding. That series will begin May 25th at Truist Park, home of the Braves. In 6A, Allatoona facing Lassiter beginning the 24th, also at Truist Park. 4A, Marist will take on Benedict. That begins May 20th at Coolray Field. 3A, North Hall facing Franklin County. That begins May 21st, also at Coolray. 1A, Public Meter taking on Gordon Lee down in Savannah at Grayson Park. That begins May 21st. And then 1A, Private, Wesleyan facing Mount Perrin beginning May 21st. Also at Coolray Field. And these are all best-of-3 series. Good luck to all the teams. I believe 2A is the only one not set in stone yet, 2A and 5A. But we'll keep you updated on how things go with those. All right, thanks for rocking with me. That is going to wrap things up for this episode. As always, want to remind you to stay safe out there in these COVID-y streets. All right, keep your distance, mask up if you need to. I know restrictions are being lifted in a lot of places, but you just don't know who's being responsible. Let's just keep it real. So stay safe, all right? And until the next time, not sure if it'll be visual or just strictly audio, whatever the case may be. Until the next time, I'm Damian Lewis. This is the PSN Podcast with Prep Sports Nation. See ya.